Thank you very much for hosting me, and if you don't mind, I'm going to just play a little bit more as I speak, as I introduce myself, because obviously this failed completely. I was just trying to stream with the e-video, so the mobile connection, because I can't get access to a Wi-Fi with this computer in your university, unfortunately. But so I'm just trying to start it again, because I was trying to announce it. So my name is Loic. I've moved here in San Francisco about 2 years ago now, so a year and a half ago. And I'm a French entrepreneur, as you can notice with my accent. I moved here for several reasons. I'll come back to that later on. But what I did is, here we go, it's starting again. So I started, never worked for anybody else than me. I started my first businesses in a school called HEC that these students are from in France. And okay, looks like it's working now. Let's see, can you hear anything there? Looks like yes. So anyway, and I created several businesses. I don't want to go into details here, but dive into the topic today. But basically, Seesmic is my 5th business. The other one, which I'm active on right now, is the conference called Loic in Paris, which has become the #1 tech event in Europe. Completely by chance. We can also talk about that if you like. But basically, it became as a blog. I'm a blogger. I started blogging and sharing online in 2003, blogging, and before that I was doing other things. And I put together a small group of people, 200 people in 5 years ago, 2003, with one idea in mind, that we should gather in an international environment, even though it was in Paris, and not all speak English. And we gathered 100 bloggers from 15 countries. And what I said, which was very popular in the press already, was that if people didn't speak English, they shouldn't show up. It's not for them, which in France is always very popular, because you don't really, you don't do that generally. Yeah, no, well, and it was the French Senate. So all in English, the French Senate, if you don't speak English, don't show up, was kind of controversial. And that's how it started. And I'm going to stand up. Apparently this is kind of working. And so it turned into a 2,000 people, 40 countries conference, only based on word of mouth, which is the center of the topic here. You could see actually the web conference as a product, which we launched without any marketing or any advertising, zero, just word of mouth. And it became a now $1.5 million budget conference with which is break-even basically, and gathering 40 countries in Paris every year. So that's the other thing I do. And now Seesmic, before I go to my slides, Seesmic is Seesmic is an attempt to make the internet more human, to know better your community, know people around you better, and to help you share with your community and listen to it better. And we started with video. So we introduced something which we called video conversation, which allowed people to show with their faces, to talk online, not only in text, because I was very frustrated that we didn't know each other enough. Like, you have friends on Facebook and on blogs, and you don't know them really. So video is like, I had the opportunity to participate in a few talk shows, actually in France on TV, and I was very frustrated that this would be only for few people. Like, very few people can show up on a TV talk show, right? I wanted to open it. So the many-to-many conversation on blogs and on Facebook and all the social software that we have should, for me, happen in video. And we started with this. We have 1 million videos have been posted. So basically, you hit the record button and you record yourself, and people answer to you. So it's very different to YouTube because it's about the conversation. It's interactive. And as we launched, I acquired another product called Twill, which you have it here. I still cannot pronounce it right, as you can see. And we invested a lot on it. This helps you share on social software, and the first one being Twitter. So share not only video, but text, pictures, and video. And this got 1.1 million downloads. So it's been very, very successful, very popular. And now we're actually focusing more and more on what Twill does, having the video conversation, the video comments as an element of it, which we keep and which grows, but this grows so fast that we're announcing a new product next week, which will be very exciting, I think, which is basically helping you manage your community and listen to it in a very, very different way. But that's not the topic. So that's what I do. We have about 15 people. We were lucky enough to be funded by visionaries, the founders of Skype, Niklas Enstrom and Yanis Fries, 15 other business angels that I won't quote because there are too many of them, but Reid Hoffman, the founder of LinkedIn, Steve Case, Ron Conway, first investor in Google, and also Pierre Omidyar, the founder of eBay, and Wellington, so a European fund. So if I fail with that, I will have no excuse. Yeah, so is this thing on? Looks like. So that's what we have. We're very lucky. And I learned a lot on how to launch a product online, entirely in the open. And I think we do it along with other companies in a very different way than traditional marketing. And so those slides, by the way, are available on, so everything I say is public, is posted. And actually, I have live verification of everything I say here, if it works. But this is on slideshare.net/Loic Meur, my name. So you don't have to take notes. If you don't want to, it's there. Let's go through them a little bit. So market research sucks. I think that right now you don't have to do market research. You really can. So everything I say is really related to our space. So what I call my space is obviously the internet. And in the internet, there is this new phenomenon which some people call the real-time web or the live web, which is growing. I think there were 3 stages on the internet. That's a very personal thing, but there was the static stage, 1993 to 2000, where everybody had started, having websites which would reproduce what we were used to have on traditional media. So static, you couldn't do much, right? Or corporate presentations. 2000 to 2007, Web 2.0, interactive, crowdsourcing, blogging, a huge phenomenon that I was a part of, leading Six Apart Europe, one of the blogging companies. And I think now there is a new, so Facebook, like basically we learn to talk to each other. And I think now it's not only do we want friends online, we learn to have friends online, but we want them in real time, live, always, now, immediately. It's like they are right there, right now. How many do we have? We have 30 people there watching. That's not much, but I just told them like 10 minutes ago to join. To me, I'm going to come back to it, but what's the most important to all of us, some don't know, some disagree, is your community. To me, what comes next to your family is your community. It can be your own community or your company community, but it's key and it's more important than market research. It's more important than advertising. So the web conference, zero advertising, and it's growing every year. We have 3 companies who try to acquire it right now. It's just because it became leader of something. And PR sucks, right? So when you've said that, I think I owe you an explanation, but I think the best way to launch a product is actually to first listen, to share and listen to a community. Well, why does it suck? I should insist maybe, but it sucks mainly because you don't trust it. If you see an ad, you don't trust it. They're trying to sell you something. PR is about selling something to a journalist who will then talk about, as you know, your product. And they don't trust it either. Talk to any journalist. They don't trust the PR agencies at all. And the market research, I don't trust it either. Because first, between the time that you do a research and the time that you launch your product, probably many things have changed. And so, I'm not talking about any sector I don't know, but on the internet, and specifically this space, it moves so fast that it would be totally pointless. So what can you do? Well, what your friends say matter the most. So word of mouth, right? And I think in any industry, it's valid that word of mouth is the most important. So if it's fashion, word of mouth of your friends telling you that this purse is really cool or that these clothes are very cool matter more than advertising, I think. I don't know fashion much. But in the internet, it's really this huge conversation that I don't do anything. I don't choose a restaurant I go to. I don't choose a product I buy if it's important for me without talking to my friends first and seeing what they say. And the extreme of that being the Twitter conversation these days. So if your friends matter, so again, the web as an example is a good one because we started with 100 people and now we're 2,000. No advertising, no budget, zero. How did it happen? Simple, those 100 friends liked it. They told their friends, and from 1 year to another, it grew to 200, 500, 1,000, 2,000 people. And we're talking about a conference that is between 1,000 and 2,000 euros each, so it's not, it's not a small budget because we put a lot of efforts into it, and it's also very expensive to produce. But my point is, you see, no market research, no PR, no advertising, just word of mouth. So what do you need? What do you need to achieve that? Is first, you need a community. And I don't know if you've read a book by Seth Godin, which is Tribes. If you haven't, you really should read it. I've just read it, and I met Seth myself a few times. Seth Godin in French. And what Seth repeats everywhere, if you look at videos of Seth online, is that you only need 1,000 real friends or real fans to make a company succeed, or if you're a music artist to have enough revenues to sustain yourself. You don't need millions of fans. This is more like the passé view that you need it to be extremely popular. You need 1,000 real fans, really committed to help you to get your product out, and which I think, again, for this example, for the web works pretty well as well. And so what he says is that 1,000 real friends can then talk to 1,000 real friends each, and that gets you to 1 million people. And that happens every single day on the internet, whether it is a product or an idea. The plane that crashed in the Hudson River, I learned about it first on Twitter. I saw the first picture on Twitter, and it spread like wildfire on the internet first, and then you see it on CNN, and then you see it on our media. So the internet is becoming the first source, at least for me, but for many people now, of information, and it beats any traditional media, including the ones online, to deliver the information. Why? Because it's the power of everybody talking. Like, there was a slight earthquake as well a few months ago here, very slight. I don't know if you felt it. But I learned about it on Twitter before it hit me, like very slow, it was very light, right? It was nothing, but I felt my house moving as I was reading the tweets of my friends saying, quake, quake, quake. So, very interesting, I think, phenomenon. And so you can see the link here, 1,000 true fans. It's based on a piece there, which is, I think, quite interesting. So we got 1 million. We got our 1 million. We got 1 million videos posted, and we got 1 million downloads, which is the example I took here of our products. These are 2 products which are downloadable. We also have a video site, Seesmic.com. But I'm going to concentrate on this because I think it's very interesting here. So there is zero marketing about those 2. So what do they do? What Twill does first is it lets you, so you type here a little text and it sends it to Twitter. And you can get the replies of your friends. If you click here, you can see everybody replying to you. You can get your private messages if someone dates you or not. You can get your, you can access search and search anything on Twitter. And you can have what we call saved searches, where you can save a search on, I don't know, San Francisco, if you're interested, or a brand, Dell. If you're the product manager for Dell, you really want to know what people are saying. And that's a product we deliver, which is a PC Mac, and you can download it. And again, 1.2 million times downloaded. No advertising, zero. Absolutely nothing. How does it work? It's very simple. Each time you post here on Twitter, it says via Twill. So it says from where it's coming, right? So that's how it's our only marketing. And then it's people talking about it, which I'm going to show you as well. And so, yeah, so the other one we launched just last week is the same, but for Facebook, which please try it. It's, we have a very fancy URL. It's facebook.com/seesmic, which is very exclusive. And it lets you do the same. So you install this, it's very simple. You type your text, and it will give you all the updates from your friends. It's very simple, don't be too demanding for now, but it basically puts your friends on the side, so it lets you stay in touch with your community all the time. We launched this last week. We have, as of today, about 15,000 downloads. It's not big, but it's growing, and I can see people, happy about it. We have 900 fans already on our fans page, so fan it if you like it, and it will help us. But that's our only marketing. So these two were downloaded, as I said. We have about 10,000 downloads a day. So it's quite interesting. We can talk about the business model later if you want, but that's not my point here. My point is how it spreads and how to launch. So how did we launch this? Well, it starts by sharing, right? So this is a very boring slide. I did it very fast, but basically it's just to put the ideas on the slide. Don't start by asking anything to anyone if you don't share yourself. I see this, it looks obvious, but I see this every single day. A journalist who is like starting on Twitter, and he's asking something. Like, why would we bother? We don't know you. What did you do for me? And so we don't, there's a chair here, Thomas, if you want. No, I feel bad for you. Take the chair. And so why would we bother? And this, I've seen since 2003 on blogs, it was the same. People would put an empty blog post, just asking a question. And like, if you don't share first, nobody will, it's like if you had lunch with someone you don't know, and you sit, and the first thing you do is ask for help. Nothing will happen. So start sharing, and like, it's never been that easy today, so you can do it just on Twitter, you can do it just on Facebook. Share your lessons. I don't know if you can do that. In France, some universities don't let you do that, but share as much, like I'm sharing right now, right? I'm sharing to 31 people now, and to you, of course, which is as important. And share first, and as you share, you will get new friends who will find it interesting, be thankful because you share. And if you start doing only marketing, that's a second mistake. First mistake is ask, not share. The second one is just talk about your products all the time and don't provide any value. That doesn't work either. Nobody will follow you. There are many brands also that still do this mistake like daily. So that doesn't come easy. It's very complicated. It takes years. Like some people ask me, how did you get this number of followers? And I started in 2003. So it has nothing to do with the companies. It's me, and it's me personally. You will see me very upset. You will see me sometimes in a very ridiculous position. Sometimes in trying to be smart. Sometimes trying to be totally or not trying, but just being stupid because I'm a human being, right? And sharing, and this like transcends any corporate rule. Like it's like you really are, I would say. And a company doesn't exist, right? It's individuals. So more and more you can see individuals. So anyway, it's very easy. You should start today. If you don't, you all do it, right? Twitter, blog, you all do it. So you know what I'm talking about. Your community or your brand's communities, I'm not talking about only promoting yourself, right? It's very important. But you can also promote your brand and have a community around your brand is what matters the most, much more than marketing and PR. And I think it's the same in any industry. Now let me see like how to do it. If I was to launch a product right now or a company, that's how we did it with Seesmic and Twill. I would select a very small space, as small as possible, very, 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 very small, where you try to be the very, very, very best of it. And I was actually just telling my friends here from France that also your mindset should be to be, and I'm also quoting Seth Godin, I'm a fan. So you should read his book. I can only advise. But he says you have to be the best in the world of anything you do. That's tough. But like when I started my company in France, I started by willing to be the very best of Paris in one thing. My first company was the web agency. We managed to do that. Then the very best in France on something else, which was shared web hosting. Not getting into details. We managed that. I sold those two companies. Then with 6 Apart and blogging, I tried to be the very best in Europe of blogging. And now I moved here, I want to be the very best in the world of something very, very tiny. Right? And so it can be anything. It can be, I was saying, two very exciting spaces right now are, I think, are the iPhone applications, booming, you know, think about all those successes. I spent some time with people who make millions, right? Hundreds of thousands of dollars with just like very simple games, sometimes kids. No market research, no PR, no marketing. They don't even know what it is. So that's one space, and that's too wide, and then you narrow it, and you say, okay, I'm going to do this. So the Twill and Seesmic for Facebook space is very small, right? It helps you get in touch with your community, but it's so exciting and growing so fast that there are already many players in there. And there is a little, you know, war, very healthy competition going for the ones in this space. So identify a space and not too crowded. The venture capitalists call it the white space. Find white space. If you go where everyone is and it's too late, right? And then try to be the very best. So what do? It's very simple. You share every single day. Start a blog about that topic, about, I don't know, anything, about doing market research on the iPhone, about what's exciting these days, oh, there's an example I like, is a company called Ping FM. Ping FM does something very complementary to us. They help you, Ping.fm, they help you share to, I should be careful with time. Okay, if you want questions. They help you share, so you update them, and if you're crazy about social software, they update 50 social software for you. So you say, I am at the Golden Gate University in the MBA class, and it will go to MySpace, to LinkedIn, to Facebook, to Twitter, to every, like LiveJournal, everywhere, right? Update your Skype status, update your AIM status, everything. This is a very tiny niche. They're the very, 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 very best in the world doing that. And they have very good traction, and they're known for that. So very good way to do it. They blog about it. They, you know, they have so small community but growing of very addicted fans who help them all day long. So the more narrow it is, the best. And our space again is helping people share and keep in touch with your grower community. Then ship as soon as you can the product. Don't wait. If it's not finished, it's okay. Like ship it as soon as you can, and that's what we did. And it gave us the opportunity, for example, to raise a second round of funding because we had it out there. And we did 2 rounds of funding. In the second round, the investors found out using Seesmic themselves. They liked it, and they said, can we invest? And if I had not launched the product, we wouldn't have got the investment. So ship as fast as you can because you can get first opportunities, you get a lot of feedback, you can learn from that feedback, and then you iterate. But get ready to execute fast, which is not easy after that. Of course, there is no slide on that, but competition sees you, right? They watch you as well. I believe like protecting an idea, it's very personal again, but to me ideas have no value, only execution matters. So don't spend your life thinking about creating the idea of your life, revolutionizing everything. The iPod was created by chance because they had this deal on hard drives at the time. Not the iPhone, the iPod. There are so many products which were created. Skype, my investors, was originally a Wi-Fi sharing software. And it became what you know is Skype today. And so it's not where you start, it's where you take it. It's like for Seesmic, if we stay in the same strategy and positioning for years, like you know, cross the Atlantic sailing and go straight. Not going to work. So it's really where you go and how you adapt to the conditions. Ship as fast as you can. Don't protect your idea. Ship it. If you protect it, don't send NDAs to people you want to raise funds from. That's useless. If you have a good idea, probably 100 people have it and are doing it right now. So instead of spending time on slides and spending times of NDAs and I can't tell you, you know, just do it. Everybody, you know, there are other people doing it. It's useless to protect it. So ship as soon as you can. And even if it's not perfect, very important. But now you have to know that the competition is watching, of course. Gather feedback, and I'm going to explain you how it is easy to gather feedback. It's never been that easy to gather feedback. I have feedback right now in Ustream. They're chatting in it. And I'm getting feedback always. So here are a few ways you can get feedback, the best for me. The first one is Twitter search. So you go on search, so twitter.com, you type your brand, here's Seesmic, and you can see what people say about your brand live. If people don't talk about your brand, it means it's dead. If they don't talk anymore about your brand, it means it just died. If they don't talk about it yet, it means that it doesn't exist. Like, nobody cares. And that's, I think, is one of the very important, I'm going to explain, but even if it's negative, it's better than nothing. It means that it matters for something. What does it matter for? So if you type Seesmic or Twill, you will see one mention of either brands every 2 minutes. It's crazy. I can't read it all. Every morning when I wake up, that's the first thing I check. Is what's the word of mouth around our brands. And the word of mouth is really big. It's really difficult to follow thousands of mentions every day. But it's really, that's how you learn. Of course, some of them repeat themselves, which is good. You identify trends. So that's my market research. You can also do it in Twill. You can search and activate your search, save it, so that you don't have to go back to it. It's going to show you alerts each time someone talks about your brand. That's the first way. Second way is to use user satisfaction sites. There are a few of them. There are two that we use or used. One is Get Satisfaction, which is very interesting, I think, for corporate use, because whether you are on it or not, your users are on it. So here is how it works. You go and you say, that product here sucks, and the customer service is really bad. You go and you complain there. Or you suggest something. It doesn't have to be negative, right? Suddenly the brand, if it matters, if it doesn't, there's nothing. But if it matters, there will be like enough feedback that the customer service has to answer, right? So that's how it works. Basically, they work the other way around. It's not the brand telling you how good they are. It's the customer sharing first and complaining, also suggesting, and then you have to answer. Another one, very interesting, which we use daily, is your public roadmap. This is a company called User Voice, and you can see ours at feedback.twill.org. They do custom URLs, and this you can't really see because it's small. But here you have I suggest you. So I suggest you added this or you removed that, and you can see hundreds of suggestions, complaints, product features, everything. And each time actually someone in public asks us something, we ask them to go here and register it. Sometimes they do. And then they vote like a dig like, right? They vote for the best features. This is crazy. So #1 feature requested on Twill right now, 300 votes. 300 people voted I want this feature. Groups. So simple, we're doing that. You know, there is no rocket science. I just take my public roadmap and I create it from there. If you have a community, it always works. Because they actually like not only that you listen, but also that it's public. It's very emulating for everyone because it means that you're open and transparent and you don't hide problems. We don't. In fact, I actually tweet our problems very often, saying yes, acknowledging it. It's not a rule. It's a few rules which may be interesting is I never criticize my competition, ever. And I think it's important. And the other one is to obviously accept your problems and be transparent about them and explain as much as you can what you do with them. And so, yeah, so groups, how is it going on in there? Good? I don't know if I can hear anything. So see, the second one is when you type @reply, it's very technical. They want the full name to show up. All right, we're doing that too. We're building what they want. Very easy. That's not the right computer. Here is, so that's a very good example. What's interesting too is you can check the pages of the people in your space. So you can see not only yours, but ours, right? So very good learning tool. That I said, no people, so now if it's negative, we get tons of negative feedback, tons of positive feedback, of course. But what's crazy about this world in That's going to make me look a little old, but 13 years of internet since I graduated. I never saw something that goes as fast as this. It's crazy. You can get, if it's good, something like thousands of people talking about it in a matter of minutes worldwide. If it's bad, you can get your product dead in a matter of minutes worldwide. We have users everywhere, I mean, mostly in the US, but all around the world. And so if it's bad, don't hide. Don't pretend it doesn't work, but answer. Most corporate companies will pretend it's not the case, right? Or not answer. Most brands are listening to the conversation, but they don't anticipate. Now try something. Try Comcast, your connection sucks. Or try Dell, I don't like this computer. Or try, who else? JetBlue or Southwest. You'll see they all listen. They are great. Amazing. I complained once about Comcast in 2 minutes. I had someone on Twitter answering, yes, how can we help? Give us your email address and so on. Very impressive. And so answer, especially if it's negative. I have a cool story to talk to you about. There is a guy, Niall Harbison, who I believe is a friend now, who wrote this. Seesmic is a pile of ass. On his blog. Not on Twitter, on his blog, but also a little bit on Twitter and so on. And he says, you see, it's here. So leave a video comment using Seesmic, and you will pop up on the homepage of TechCrunch if you know TechCrunch, because Seesmic is such a pile of ass, and people don't really use video. The average of man, blah, 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 blah. And you have very different reactions to this. One is like, I was very upset. I mean, people don't realize how upsetting it is when you read this and you have your team killing itself. I mean, you have to think, like, our team is killing itself. And you know, I work a little bit too. And when you see that, you're like, oh, you know, it's terrible. But anyway, so you keep cool. And what I do is I not only answered, but I thanked him, right? So I answered here. And I said, so you can't really read, but I said, your blog post gave me an opportunity to check your site. And I did. iFoods is a podcast about food, very nice. And I said, it's really good. It is, that's what I think, really. And then I said, well, Seesmic is approaching 1 million videos posted, so it's not that small. And then I said, I respect your comments, but I wonder why you have to be aggressive like this. You know, I still don't understand how, like, if it's you in my face telling me in front of me, like, you're stupid, or you're, you know, sure, we can explain, but on the internet, like, I don't know why people are so aggressive by default. We provide something which is free. That's my next slide. I'm going to come back to it. Here's the new internet customer. They want everything free. Free. We didn't charge anything, right? Sometimes I even answer, we'll get you all your money back. So they want it free. They want no ads. No intrusive ads, because that's annoying, right? If you suck, they tell everyone. All day long, right? If a competitor does anything better than what you do, they switch immediately. And not only do they switch, but they tell everyone too. You suck, you know, I switched to this one, and so on. And so this is, like, for an entrepreneur, good luck with that. I mean, like, it's so depressing at times that you have to fight in an environment where you see, you know, people be really, I mean, again, free. You have a team killing itself, and you get criticism very, very strong. So anyway, I answered very nicely, and he came back, and he said, oh, I thought the words were probably too strong. So he didn't apologize, but almost. And then he put a blog post and a video saying it's exactly what Loic does that should be done in PR in every company. Acknowledge, answer, talk, and so on. And now he's a friend. He's linking to me all the time, and I link to you. And I actually tweeted him that I would put his case as a business case. And so I'm trying to do this every day, but sometimes you can't because we have so much feedback that we can't reply to everyone. I think we would need about 10 full-time persons to answer all the feedback, you know, or interact with everyone. So we have a team of one, Thomas, who is doing that with me and the rest of the team, and it's sometimes it's tough. Anyway, the good news is that it's the same rules for everyone. That's the good news. So everyone has the same rules. So it's the same. You have a chance to turn people who really, like you feel, are enemies, are very aggressive, into your best friends. And actually, it means they care. This is why I always thank them. And actually, the more they insult us, or me personally, generally the more they care, right? So because they care, you know, they like 12. They really like it so bad that if it's broken, if there's anything that doesn't work, they tell you. So it's good. And you will always have some real friends. It's all about finding them, right? In the community of 1.1 million downloads, I would say 200,000 unique users of Twill, there are some of them who are very, very committed and real friends who wouldn't say, you know, things like this. I have someone here saying he's available to help. See, like reacting to what I said. So here's how we do it. We experiment these things. I have to say this is very new. It's so changing fast. It's so violent sometimes. So it's very, very new. So we experiment. And we launched an initiative which we call Team Seesmic, where we said, okay, this is not for everyone. This is only for our friends, for our real friends. Like the ones who really like our products, Seesmic and Twill, and who really want to help. Anybody? You know, that's how we started. And we use video a lot. And I thought we would get a few hundred. Because that, you know, and I committed to a few things. First, I said they would always get the products before anyone else. Depending on our, like Facebook, I could not because we had an NDA with Facebook that wouldn't prevent me from sending it before we announced it, but as much as we can. Second is that I would answer with the team every single email that they send. And so I answered myself actually like 500 emails or something, but every single one. And so caring a lot about them. And we expected 500, we got 6,500. And so each time we launch a new release, we send a mail to these Team Seesmic members, and we get back like 200 emails with feedback. Incredible. And then, you know, if they're friends, what I did is I experiment, right? I don't know, I'm learning. But what I did is, look, if you're friends, if you like our products, you could also blog about it and tweet about it. And they did too. Like when we launched the 0.9 version, we had hundreds maybe, of videos and posts of people helping us. So it's not only bad news. This is working very well. It's growing very, very nicely. It's a little Seesmic army, which is growing. And we love them. What I learned is your community, and I'm almost done, your community is your most important asset, right? And of course, the inner circle, which I thought would be a few hundred people, is even more important. Like I would like to be able to be disturbed anytime by those 6,000 people. I want them to have my cell phone. I want them, you see what I mean? And maybe within those 6,000, there is even like a 500. So we're doing a first meeting. In a few weeks, we'll have a Team Seesmic meetup. We'll see how many show up, maybe 2. I don't know. I don't think so. We'll see. And we'll have, you know, some pizza and drink. It's recession, so we're careful. So it's the most important. Get your product out as soon as possible, just repeating. Get your public roadmap out as soon as possible. If you have a community, it's going to work. Maybe you won't have hundreds of votes as we do, but like enough to begin with. And execute as fast as you can. Now, listen to your users. So here's one. Okay, so Twill is blowing the shit out of me, right? This was 2 hours ago. So be prepared. Put your helmet, right? And be prepared. It's going to be harsh, war sometimes, and your best, you know, like the worst will be your users themselves. It's all public, and they tell all your friends, right? Someone called me stupid this afternoon, and that I was ignorant and stupid and so on. And I acknowledged. I said, yes, I'm stupid, ignorant, and I suck whatsoever, totally. But I'm willing to learn and do it less. Sometimes they love you too. Here's another one. I love Twill. And they tell all their friends too. So, you know, it's not only bad, of course. Very tough to manage. And now, just to finish with, just to tell you that I'm not all about listening to users. Robert Scoble, the blogger, said a Porsche would be a Volvo if it listened to its users. Because you would have, you would want more legroom and more space in the back. And, you know, and maybe higher, you know, and it becomes a Volvo. It's not a Porsche anymore, right? So he's saying, actually, no, don't listen too much to your users. Michael Harrington, famous blogger, is saying, yesterday, it falls perfect for this lesson, when you listen to your users, you get vanilla, feature creep, boring. It takes a dictator to create the iPhone and change the course of an entire industry. Imagine if Steve Jobs let other people add features to that device. So it's true, Apple doesn't listen much to its users, right? They're just genius. It's not easy to be genius every day, though. And then making users happy is a sucker's game. Right? I think it's a little bit in between. What I would suggest, and that's my last slide, is that the truth is really in between. Build your product in the open like we do, much more than in secret. That's my style. Apple does everything in secret, but we're no Apple. We're a small, shop. Listen to the users, but keep some innovation secret. And we have some surprises, because they love surprises. Like Facebook, for example, was a surprise, a secret, which we revealed. It wasn't huge, but yeah, again, a few thousand people that I hope will get us to 1 million people. So that's it. Thank you very much, and I hope you have some questions. That was a little more than 20 minutes. Oh, looks like the streaming is okay. Right.
I have a question. Would you mind please what would you define a public roadmap as? I wasn't very clear when you say get your public roadmap. Can you give me an example?
Yeah, it was this user voice thing. You go to uservoice.com and you register your product there. And if you have a community, you tell your community that they should go and put the suggestions there in public. And the votes will give you the most important demanded features by your user, uservoice.com. There's a link on my slides if you find that. And that's what I call my public roadmap, because it's what the users want. Now think about Steve Jobs again. Maybe they don't tell you everything, right? If you want to really be breakthrough, you have to also have good ideas.
Okay, great, thank you.
Yeah. Every day on Twitter and everywhere, I see, look this new idea, look this new website, look and look and look and look.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I have seen 20 ideas, I register in the half of them, and then I forget them.
Yeah.
The other day, new websites, new services, new and new and new. How do you try to not be in this clutter and to be something unique? Because, and how do you protect yourself, let's say, from the big fishes to not create a Seesmic, a Facebook Seesmic or something like this?
You can't. You can't.
Only through your community?
Community is a very, very big thing. It's a huge protection. Like Facebook has a huge community, right? And Twitter has a huge community of so addicted users that's what protects them the best from competitors. There are tons of Twitter competitors, but none of them is growing. Why? Because people stay on Twitter. And so that's a big protection. But I didn't find any good answer to your question. It can be technology too, but it's generally users. And also, I don't think you should protect yourself too much, actually. It's a very, like, I give you an example. I had a hosting company called RapidSite in France. That was my second company. And we were a leader for a few years. And we managed to do very well. And there was no competition. Suddenly I opened a newspaper in France, and I learned that Telco, at the time it was called France Télécom, launched a direct competitor, copying all our features, copying all our product pricing, the product itself, and you know what, even the ad itself. We had it was in '99, we had a very cheesy ad. It was a castle, Spanish castle, and I think it was like, I'm ashamed, but like with RapidSite, your hosting is rock solid or something, I don't know, very cheesy. I had no means, so. And now I still do cheesy actually. And they did a Scottish castle, right? We had a Spanish castle, they did a Scottish castle, full page, and with a tagline which was very close. And so same reaction as this user, right? This that it was direct attack. And two reactions. One is you sue them. Yeah, okay, 10 people companies sue France Télécom. Sure, you can do that. I mean, second is you go and you use the media and you criticize them, you insult them, you take them, to you treat them as bad as you can. Third is what I did. You invite them to lunch. And so I find the person doing that. I called him and I said, look, it's fair that you compete. I was actually expecting it one day. So talk to me about protection. Imagine it was a Saturday and I was like Suddenly you have the largest company in France being your competitor. You know, waking up like it happens all the time. Last week there is a company called Spinvox, which does audio voicemail. Right? You talk to your phone. People leave you voicemail, and you get a mail. Guess what? Google started doing that last week. You saw that, right? Google Voice. Imagine the entrepreneur that I know, you know, waking up with Google as a competitor. It's terrible. Anyways, my story is I took him to lunch, we had fun, and I said, look, you know, you could compete, but don't do the same ad. You have, you know, and, we had fun, we had some wine, and 3 weeks after, he acquired my company. And if I had been, which I didn't want to, by the way, but I thought it was a good opportunity. But the lesson here is always to be positive, and even you can't protect. And if you can't protect, well, work with them. I don't know. I'm always, you know.
But I think one of the things that you mentioned earlier, actually at the very beginning, was the notion, be the best in the space that you choose, which if you can maintain that superiority, that's a form of protection. I mean, that's preemptive positioning. Yeah,
and it's very tough. In our space, there's lots of competition, and in some things we're a leader, in others we're not. Like we're the #1 client in terms of downloads, I think, and we have multi accounts. So if you have 5 Twitter accounts, many people have that. Like if you're Dell, you have a professional and a personal. We have that. People like it. In some others, we're not, and we're working really hard to, you know, be the leader on everything. And it's coming soon.
So when you have your public roadmap like this, where essentially users make suggestions and they vote, how do you sort through them? Even though, let's say, I can't even read it. Let's say the #1 thing is something that's very difficult to do.
It's group, yeah.
So how do you sort through between the things that are great ideas but challenging, great ideas, easy, that seems pretty straightforward, and then everything else in between, which is okay?
It's a great question.
Which do we do first?
It's a great question. I don't know the answer, and we're doing both. And so what we're doing is to try to have some very quick wins. So like in these hundreds of suggestions, there are some that are really easy to do, and so we allocate some part of the team to that and deliver them. And some others, like groups, which are really difficult to do, and these will take months. Fortunately, we are at the end of that, but they're difficult to do, and if you want to do them right as well. So we do both, but it's very frustrating because if you choose the most difficult one, you may have competition that does all the easy ones, which we kind of saw in a way, and so yeah, and I don't know. They also did difficult ones. It's tough. It's tough. I think you have to balance if you have a team. We have a chance to have. It's a small team, but we have a team, so we balance.
And how much?
I don't have the answer. That's the answer.
How much do you ask the users who make these suggestions to contribute to refining them? You know, great idea. Tell me more, or.
Oh, always. Oh, and each time I actually have so many new ideas coming from the users daily. It's crazy. So then, like just yesterday, someone said, could you do a conversation view? And I have my interpretation of what means a conversation view, but they're probably talking about something else. So I asked, and I got details. And so it's all about, so if you get help, I would say the most important thing is to listen, thank them, because I think it's all public, right? It's not, right? So in private I do that too, but it's public, it's really tricky. And then credit them. So very important. Say thank you, Thomas, thank you. It's sometimes difficult to do, but so I went into a conversation about what is a view conversation, and but you see, maybe if you follow the news, if you don't, you should read Tech Meme. That's the best source of news for the internet news, and Facebook is going through a huge customer feedback right now. They changed their page, and you can tell. This is why Harrington posted this. Like, don't listen to your users, and others say change everything back. And I can believe what I can totally imagine what Mark Zuckerberg, founder of Facebook, must be. He must probably not sleep very well these days, regardless of 170 million users. It's crazy how fast it goes, how fast things change. Like Facebook took the leadership from MySpace. Twitter now is a challenger to Facebook, right? Maybe there will be a challenger to Twitter. It's crazy how fast it goes. Yeah?
I have a question. Well, you mentioned that you don't charge anything. Yeah? You don't do advertisement, so there is a question. Where do you get money? And there is a follow-up question right behind that. In case I wake up tomorrow morning and have a question about a product I don't know how to earn money with, how do I convince investors to give me money, like millions of dollars?
You want to pay me?
No.
Oh, that's easy. You can write that.
If I have an idea tomorrow, how do you give me money for the idea?
For your help?
I don't know, for the rough idea.
See, you're even, actually, I'll add a bullet to my slide. Thank you. Yeah, I'll add a bullet to the new consumer. He wants free, no advertising, now he wants to get paid for his ideas. Thank you. I'll add, you'll have your, what's your name?
Thomas.
I'll credit you, thank you. But that's exactly it. It's not, what? You're using my ideas, That's exactly it.
But you got also like a lot of money in front of it. And I don't know if you know how to monetize that, you will tell us. But if you 2 years ago when you started, you maybe had no idea at all. So how did you convince your investors that it's a good idea?
I'm not an example for that. I mean, I'm not it's my 5th company, so it wasn't that difficult.
Track record.
Yeah, it wasn't that difficult. I mean, knock on wood that I always can do that, right? But it wasn't that difficult. But if you start, actually, probably the worst way to start for your first business is to get lots of funding. You should, because I mean, I don't know. I started. I didn't know what a business angel was. My 2 companies where I started with a student's loan, 10,000 euros.
Could be useful or used by the not web internet companies, but usual companies.
Yeah.
Like big ones, even very known ones.
Yeah, I think all those techniques. I think what we're doing here will be done in 10 years by large brands.
Okay.
5 to 10 years, and some of them are very, very getting it. Like for blogging and so on, and some of them will not only listen but start to get. I think they'll get it, and the ones who will get it will, make a huge difference. There are brands already with the community. What do you think about Apple? They have a huge community. They are like I would buy anything from Apple. They release something, I go and buy it almost, right? If I can, I love it. I'm totally addicted, and then that there are many reasons why. Is that it's not only the product, right? It's also the leader. It's also a lot of things around it. But there are many brands that get that. Richard Branson, he has the community. He has something which I'm a big fan too. But he has he's crazy, right? He has something else on his product.
He's trying all the time.
He's trying all the time. He's failing all the time with stuff. They've just closed the Virgin. They're closing it, right? The Virgin store there. All around the world, they're closing them. So he's failing too. It's okay, right? Start again. So no, I don't know. But my point is that many brands get it. And yes, I think all that you can apply, but it just goes much faster in our world. This is why I'm in this world, because it's super exciting. Even if you get insulted all day long, I still like it. Yeah, and I'm pushing a bit the envelope. But sometimes, I have a big screen like this, an LCD screen. You saw that in my office, with the tweets coming in, rotating, of everybody talking about Twill or Seesmic. And so sometimes in a meeting, I'm always monitoring this. And if someone criticizes very strongly, I go and help. I stop and I go and help. And Thomas does this all the time too. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And so, you have I'm very easy to find. Very easy, but in case you need me, that's me. And again, the slides, slideshare.net/Loic Lemeur, LOICLEMEUR. You can just Google me, Loic, you'll find me. And what else? And we'll post the video as well.
Excellent.
So.